I want to address a couple of the most common problems or questions or confusion points we're getting from our customers through the first 2.5 days of ICD-10 transition. This will probably be video 1 of a multi-part series. The number one question that we're getting is that when people go into transaction entry to enter a new charge for a patient's account and they click new to enter in a new transaction line, it's bringing up the old ICD-9 codes. And this is happening even though they've already set up their system for ICD-10, meaning they've already created their ICD-10 mappings and they've already set the ICD-10 version. It still continues in transaction entry to pull up the old ICD-9 code. And let me explain why that happens. It actually happens for two different reasons. So if I come into transaction entry, I click new. Remember that when MEDISOFT, when you click new in transaction entry, MEDISOFT is automatically going to bring forward on the line item the default diagnosis in the patient's case. So when this patient was originally set up, or the case was originally set up, if I right click and I go to edit case, you can go to the default diagnosis tab and it has the old ICD-9 codes there. So we need to update these with the existing ICD-10 code so that every time this patient comes in from now on, it'll display the correct ICD-10 default codes. To do that, we're recommending that people create a new case. Just right click and go and do a copy case so that it copies over all the existing insurance information and so on. I'm going to say that this is ICD-10 after it, just so I can differentiate this case between the others. I'm going to go to the diagnosis tab, and I recommend that you click on the magnifying glass or press the F6 key on your keyboard to do an advanced search. So we're going to take this 847.2 and we're going to put in the correct ICD-10 code for this as the default. So I recommend that you set up your search as such. You've got in the field, change this to ICD-9, and then just check the box next to display the ICD-10 code, and we're going to type in 847.2, and based on our mappings, our one-to-one mappings that we performed earlier, it's going to bring up the S33.5XXA as the one-to-one equivalent of the 847.2. So I'm going to highlight this code. I can either click on OK down below, or I can just double click. That'll select the ICD-10. I'm going to do the same thing with the 724.2. Double click that. I've now selected the ICD-10 versions of those codes. I'm going to save that in as the new defaults for the case. So now when I come into transaction entry, I click new to add in a new procedure. You can see that it has selected the correct ICD-10 defaults from this point forward. If I click on the down arrow, you can see that it's showing the correct ICD-10 with the old equivalent of ICD-9. Now, for demonstration purposes, if I go back to the original case that we were in at the beginning of this video, and I click new, there are some customers who don't set default diagnosis codes in the patient's case. If that is the case, if you don't set default diagnosis codes in the patient case, then these, when you click new to start a new charge line, these will be blank. There will be no diagnosis codes that come forward. Also, please understand that if you don't change the default diagnosis in the patient case, every time you do a new line or a new visit, it will bring those forward. Now, you can always do the same thing here. You can always press the F6 key on the actual line item, type in the code 847.2, and change the ICD-10 here on the line item. But this is just a band-aid approach. Is that next time this patient comes in and you click new, it'll default the old default diagnosis that were in the patient's case. But you can always hit the F6 here to bring up the same advanced search box and change them on a line item basis. But that's only a temporary fix.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video and found it helpful. If you did, let us know by giving us a thumbs up by clicking on the like button below. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, feel free to write those in the comments section below. And if you want to get more helpful videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks!